Is this a ghost? So let's see what questions we have only on Paranormal, True or False. It is free to subscribe. Please subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Thank you. Is this a poltergeist? As this lady is speaking into the camera, first we will see the door behind her open. Then a pillow on the bed will move. Then the chair on her right side will move. Is she haunted by a poltergeist? Is this just usual trickery? Is this a hoax, staged, or is it real paranormal? It gives the impression that something walked out of the bedroom and moved over to the chair. And now that the chair is moving, she's really startled and confused. For me personally, I don't know if this is real or not, but if there's too much activity, I think it's staged. Her body placement in between the two sets of activity so that we will be able to clearly see what's happening behind her on both sides just makes me think that she has staged this. What do you think? Is she a good actress? Put your thoughts in the comment section below. Is this a ghost hovering in this closet? As this lady is laying on her bed, she uses her cell phone to look in the closet behind her. Something appears to be looking at her. What is that? Is it a ghost? Is it a demon? Is it just our imaginations that's causing it to look like a head and face? Is it an optical illusion caused by shoes and a hat? The forehead looks like the back of a low heel, and then the nose and the neck looks like it might be something hanging on the door. Do you see something different? It is creepy, and I'd have to get up and close the closet door. Does this man have a stalker? We will suddenly see a lady behind this man. Is this man being haunted? She's not transparent. This is a first of a couple of different clips we'll see in this video with this guy. Even though she looks really pale, she looks like she's still alive. Is he being pranked? Or is he staging this? He doesn't keep himself in the center of frame, so it seems like he's trying to get us to look over his shoulder. Is this another poltergeist? We will suddenly start to see some of the furniture fall over. It doesn't appear anybody's in the room. Is this an earthquake? Is this building on the verge of collapse? Vibrations from trains and planes wouldn't be able to move this furniture to this extent. So is someone hiding off camera and moving this furniture themselves? Maybe the lighter pieces are attached to string? It's creepy, but I think they're creating paranormal activity, not capturing it. Is this construction worker trapped in construction hell? This construction worker keeps hearing things, so he gets his cell phone out and then he suddenly sees that door start to open on its own. So he walks over to try and find out who's in the house, who's in here while he's trying to remodel this home. He sees another door and it suddenly slams shut. That door goes to the basement. He calls out trying to find out who's there. The lights start flickering, and then it sounds like a board dropped. He drops his phone and runs. The phone is still recording, and then suddenly the phone starts spinning around. But we don't see anything. Is a ghost spinning that phone? The worker comes back and grabs his phone. But what did he encounter? Is this staged? Is it hoaxed? Is it a prank? Or is it real? This is one of those where I could see how it could very easily be staged. You know, you can have a second person that's opening and closing doors, and then dropping a piece of wood that scared him, and then staying out of frame of the camera and spinning the camera around. Vacuums could have caused the doors to open and close. So I'm not sure, but I hope this one is real, because it is somewhat believable. Is this a ghost in this passageway? As the camera points down this hallway, we see on the right-hand side what appears to be a head pop out from a door or a window. It appears to be transparent, but what is it? Is it an animal? Is it a ghost? Is it an orb? Is it a bug on the lens? This kind of reminds me of some of the stuff that ghost hunters used to catch. Just unexplainable things. I don't think it's computer graphics or visual effects. I think it's real. I just don't know what it is. So this one might be real paranormal. Is this a glowing alien? As this camera is pointing down the road, it appears that there's a human being or an alien glowing in the dark. So the atypical meme is happening with paranormal footage in which it's grainy, out of focus, and bouncy. And the glowing dude, of course, is standing right in the middle of two light sources in a shady section. So is this just an LED suit that a human being is wearing? Are they testing a Halloween costume? Is it a glow-in-the-dark alien or a glow-in-the-dark ghost? Is it a piñata? Is it a mannequin? Is it hanging from a tree limb, which gives the illusion that it's floating? Is it CG? Is it video effects? I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I don't think it's paranormal. What is spooking this dog? When this dog walks into this kitchen, they are acting very timid, very scared, as if something is right there. They're not willing to move further into the kitchen and keep backing up. Is it some type of rodent? What goes into this picture for me is the fact that this dog can smell as well as hear, even if we can't see either of those things. So if it was a rodent, I don't know that a dog would be afraid of that scent. A lot of these smaller breeds were actually created to go after rodents. So I feel like its genetics would kick in with it being, in a sense, a hunting dog. And it's definitely one of those things that we human beings recognize that many animal species have better senses than we have. And even if it's just a mouse on the wall, the dog's behavior, I think, would creep anybody out. I feel like if it was a ghost the dog knew, they wouldn't react that way. It could also be some type of a worker working on the outside of the house or in the garage that is causing the dog to react this way, where they can hear the work but they can't see the person. They can smell them, but they can't get to him. So unfortunately, I don't know for sure, but this one might be paranormal. I just wish I was there and could explore around to see if I could hear a mouse in the wall or a worker outside. What is this black blob? As the camera is pointing towards the door, it doesn't look like there's anything at the bottom of the door initially, but then some type of a fabricy black blob shows up. What is this thing that just pops up from under the door? Is somebody hiding under this other door and just rolled that object over? Did the camera operator kick it over there? We can see it in the reflection of the washer before we see it right there at the crack of the door. Whatever it is, that's creepy. It looks somewhat furry. It almost looks like the back of a cat, and cats can actually squeeze through very narrow openings. Could this be the back of a cat whose head is pointed at the door? I'm not sure on this one. I don't think it's paranormal, but I'm not sure what it is. Is this a shadow person? It appears that there's a shadow person that has run back and forth in front of the door. Is this home haunted? Is it a hoax? Is it staged? Well, slowing it down and zooming in, we can see that it appears like something is there, but it also looks like it might be an optical illusion caused by the computer angle. So again, we have one of those grainy footage issues where we're not able to see what we're looking at, other than it does look like some type of a black shape crosses in front of the light from the door. And when I slowed it down to 0.25 times, it was showing like it was moving with the way the camera was moving. But when I slow it down to 0.05 times, which is a lot slower, we don't have that same type of swing movement like we do in this slow footage here. So I don't know if this is one of those things where the camera is having to adjust to the movement of the operator as well as it's pointing towards a light, and that just causes an optical illusion of something being there. Due to how poor this footage is, it's inconclusive for me. Why is this man being watched? As this man is walking behind him, there is something peering out of what looks like a small window or vent. Nothing right here, but as we move forward, we start to see something show up. And then when we keep moving forward, we see more of a face or something. But what is it? Is it simply an animal? Is it simply a light camera angle issue? Is it CG or video effects? Not sure on this one. What are your thoughts? Is this building really abandoned? As these people wander around this building that appears to be abandoned, we will suddenly see something on the top floor. Why do we always have ghosts that look like they're wearing a ski mask? Is this high fashion for spirits? Is a bank robber hiding out in this building? Well, they're not transparent, so my guess is that is a living human being wearing a ski mask. I just don't know if this individual is in on it and this is staged or pranking the unsuspected. Is this a shadow person? As this man walks on what appears to be the first floor, there's somebody walking above him. Apparently there are 3 people investigating this building, and all 3 people are on the bottom floor or outside. No one apparently is upstairs. So who or what is this? It looks like a solid figure, not transparent. Is there another person there that's living that is unknown to these paranormal investigators? I truly feel bad for all the paranormal investigators because this object we can see clearly is clearly defined, but it also is giving off a shadow because behind it we can see the shadow of its leg. So everything in my instinct tells me that's a living human being, and I just don't know if the people that are investigating is in on it or not. But part of that is because the image is so clear. Maybe if it was grainy, I might have believed it was paranormal. It's insane. But I am going to give these investigators the benefit of the doubt and say they didn't know of any living people in that house. Is this a trespasser or a ghost? So this one area of this yard has a bunch of plant life that is just swinging as if only wind was hitting that one area. But then when the camera pans to the left, they see somebody. Who is that? What is that? And why are they there? I think if you see just a clump of bushes and leaves moving, that it's probably not paranormal, but more likely to be either human or animal, and definitely predator. So I never recommend you running out towards the brush at night. This is a continuation of the stalker that we talked about earlier. And if we keep an eye on the lower right-hand corner screen, we will suddenly see something pop out and look around. It looks like that same woman moving her head around in a creepy manner. She's very difficult to see, but you can see just this head swinging back and forth. She's obviously in dark clothing. She has that really pale skin, and so we can see just her head bobbing around. But I don't think she's a ghost. I just think she is camouflaged in that corner in such a manner that all she has to do is swing her long hair around to conceal her face or distort her face. Though we can't see her clothes in this picture, it's just too easy to fake. Another dog that is being spooked by something. As this dog looks down this hallway, it seems startled and spooked by something. Is there something out in the woods? His friend is sleeping through it, whatever it is. Is there a squirrel climbing around on trees? Is that what has the dog's attention? Is someone working or walking on the other side of the tree line? If it was a worker or someone making noise in the tree line there, I would think the other dog would wake up. Could it be just a squirrel jumping from tree to tree, which is not making enough noise inside the house for the other dog to wake up? Because of lack of movement from the other dog, I don't think this is paranormal. Does this man have a poltergeist in his home? A man just walked towards the camera and away from that room, but then that light starts to flicker on and off. Is someone else back there? Or is it spectral? As we keep watching, the light continues to turn on and off, and then the closet door in the hallway there, then the door in the hallway starts to open, seemingly on its own. I kind of wish I had the floor plan of this house to see if you could circle around and get back into that room, because we do see him leaving the room. I just cut that for time. But obviously the door that opens is the door that would block our view from being able to see anybody, even though that's a double door. I know most houses, when you have a hallway like this, that's where it ends, but I also know that my parents had a sliding glass door in their bedroom. So they could have walked out of the house, walked around the house, and turned the light on and off. So I'm not convinced that this is paranormal, simply because like I said, I don't know the layout of this house. And obviously, I could use string or pets to recreate this activity. Have you subscribed? As this person sleeps, suddenly the camera will get buzzy, and then the chair starts moving. But it doesn't end there. Suddenly, the blanket will be pulled off as if someone was pulling it off. The bluish tint tells me that they have changed the color of the original footage. But then why is there suddenly a human being walking by? Are they trying to hide that they had tied a string to that chair and pulled the chair out? Because that's the appearance it gives. And it's very easy to just hook that blanket with fishing line and see how it bunches up as if it's being pulled by one point. That kind of tells me that it is on a string. So is the person awake trying to pull a prank? If we take just this small part and do a color correction, see how many different tones that we can get. So I think this is staged, I just don't know if the sleeping person is in on it. What caused this cloth to fall? As this guy closes the door, all of a sudden, the drapes over the doorways fall. So obviously, the door caused a vacuum that caused this cloth to just fall. I'm not sure why this was classified as paranormal. Is this a ghost rabbit? As this vehicle moves down the road, it startles a wild animal that starts hopping away. The combination of the angle of the camera and the angle of the light is distorting this creature, but also capturing its shadow. Some prey animals will freeze, air, or jump sporadically. In this case, it looks like this is a rabbit, and there's actually a fence there that we can't see, and that's why the rabbit is not darting towards its left to escape the vehicle. It's because it can't. Is this a ghost? As the camera pans around this space, it will suddenly aim towards a passageway, but it appears like there's something already there. What is that? Is it a dog? Is it a deer? It appears transparent, and yet it still appears solid. Is it an animal? Is it some type of a cloth, fabric, balloon? It reminds me of a deer that has wandered into a building and is freaking out. Is that a closed escalator? And the deer is being pushed into the closed portion? Not sure on this one, but it does seem like a deer to me. This bit is impossible for the living. Suddenly, what appears to be a head pops out from behind a dresser. The teenager that captured this video jumps up from the bed and then pulls the dresser out to try and see behind it to see what that was. There's no way a human being could have fit behind that. When he pulls the dresser away from the wall, he doesn't point the camera towards the ground. He just shows us how small that gap is. But could there have been a doll in the bottom drawer and the bottom drawer didn't have a back to it? Is it possible that he held the cell phone with one hand and yanked the doll with a string with his other hand? This doll was more of a plushie and not solid, and that enabled it to be yanked out just a little bit. That drawer doesn't seem large enough for anything over 3 years old. So I think we can rule out living human. But is this thing paranormal? What theories do you guys have? Could it be a smaller doll, like a Barbie doll, or a wig? If this was fake, let me know in the comments how you think they faked this one. Is this a poltergeist haunting this house? As this person moves through different floors in their house, objects keep moving. First, the exercise bicycle falls over. Then they go downstairs, and suddenly, some tapes that were on a table behind them fall onto the floor. Is this a poltergeist causing this activity? Are they being haunted by a ghost? Or is this staged with someone pulling on a string that's causing things to fall over and fall off the table? It could be real, but for me it's just too much activity too quickly. I have an ethical obligation as a certified fraud examiner to not con you into believing something is real when it has obviously been faked. If you agree or disagree with my analysis, please leave a comment below. You will find links to social media platforms for this channel as well as for Jim Riley in the description below. Be safe and don't investigate alone. If you appreciate this type of analytical analysis, please subscribe. And remember, question everything. Thanks for watching Paranormal, True or False.